Hey guys, it's Cynical, and for this video I will be going over whether or not Shadow of War is a good game. I believe there's some things that really determine this about the game, so stick around and keep an open mind on what I want to address. With that being said, drop a like and help me reach the like goal of 30 likes, and comment your thoughts about whether or not Shadow of War is a good game. Let's get into the video. In order to determine whether Shadow of War is a good game or not, there's a few things we do need to address. The things we have to address to determine this are graphics, gameplay, and story. To say the least, the graphics on Shadow of War are debatably better and worse compared to Shadow of Mordor. Graphics can be heavily reliant on the platform you're playing on. It's obvious that PC will have better graphics, but compared between consoles, from what I've seen, they appear to be very similar. Compared to Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War is a bit brighter, which may make any graphical flaws more apparent, hence why people may say that the graphics of Shadow of War are worse when in reality they may just be the same or a bit better on the platform they are playing on. Talking about graphics though, I've noticed there's more detail when it comes to visual of the orcs and armor in Shadow of War compared to the last game. With that all being said, I think the graphical side of Shadow of War is pretty standard for a AAA game. When it comes to frame rate though, it's a bit hard to tell what the frame rate is at when you're on console because of the fact that there's no frame rate count on them. However, if I had this on a solid gaming PC, I'd be able to do some testing for you guys, so I apologize about that. Personally, on my standard Xbox One, I do not experience any frame rate lag or any frame rate issues until there's a bit too much chaos going on in the game. So I don't know if this will be the case on the Xbox One X, but with that all being said though, the frame rate could have been better on the Xbox One, like I said, when there's too much chaos. But other than that, the graphics are pretty decent. The next thing we have is the gameplay. I've never been a fan of the Batman video games, not because of what they are, but just because they never really sparked my interest. However, a lot of people have been saying that the gameplay took a lot of its ideas from the Batman video games. But from my personal opinion, the gameplay does feel very fluid and easy to learn. If you never played Shadow of Mordor, then the gameplay for Shadow of War should be relatively easy for you to learn. There are many different skills you can choose from to help cater to your exact playstyle. Even though there are a lot of skills to choose from, it doesn't feel necessarily overwhelming. If you chose a skill and ended up not liking that skill, you can always swap it out for another skill if you have extra skill points, or just de-equip the skill. It's easier in this game compared to the previous to dominate orcs or to just drain them, which is awesome. Everything feels fluent and goes together, including the movement, which was certainly improved. Hell, I would never have thought they'd find a way to add double jumping in a medieval type of game, but it certainly does work out for Shadow of War, not to mention it looks badass too. Can't talk about the gameplay without mentioning the Nemesis system, which does justice to the Shadow of War series. Not only can you have captains and war chiefs like in Shadow of Mordor, but you can also have overlords and fortresses. There's several regions giving you more flexibility in trying different kinds of armies. The gameplay and Nemesis isn't perfect either though. After a while, the gameplay may feel repetitive and at times a bit annoying with orcs when they resist most of your moves that you're reliant on. This may make you use a different strategy, but if you are a bit of a conservative, you won't like this. The Nemesis system lacks some strategy when it comes to the fortresses. I wish I was able to command exactly who goes where and who does what and place my captains on buildings and flank points. Perhaps they can always add this in a future update. I think the most juiciest part of Shadow of War is the story. Even if you are like me and don't even know what's really going on in the story of Middle-earth, you will still enjoy what the story of Shadow of War has to offer. The story leads on from the end of Shadow of Mordor, when Talion and Celebrimbor, are also known as the Bright Lord, craft their new ring of power in order to stop Sauron and his forces. You lose the ring right away, but I believe this was a smart way to teach players the mechanics and gameplay instead of forcing them right into the Nemesis system right away, which is really good that they did that. The story isn't direct though. There's other areas of story that you can focus on in the game and to learn more about the lore and more about what's going on in Middle-earth. As you may already know, the ending of Shadow of War goes with the beginning of the Middle-earth Lord of the Rings movies. Some fans of the series don't like the way the game ended, but depending on how you feel about the fact that Monolith changed some elements of the story for the game will determine whether or not you'll like the story as a fan of the Middle-earth series. A lot of reviews said that the story was disappointment, but I found it is really interesting and almost an emotional roller coaster. They could have improved in some aspects of the story. The story of the game isn't the best I've seen, but definitely makes me want to watch the Lord of the Rings movies and to read the books. Even though the story is really decent, you can tell the main focus was on the player forging their own stories with the Nemesis system. With that all being said, I think the game is moderately good. It could certainly be a better game, but this is definitely an improvement from Shadow of Mordor. So much more fun, more things to do, better mechanics and gameplay, but with its flaws. A lot of people became turned off by the microtransactions in Shadow of War, which I found really unfortunate as this game is amazing. If you are debating on buying this game, I'm telling you that you really need to buy it. I don't suggest on getting the season pass as we don't exactly know what that has to offer. Anyways, I consider Shadow of War a good game and a game that deserves a chance with the gaming community regardless of microtransactions that do not add a paywall to the game in any shape, way, or form. Perhaps they're using these as an experiment to see what works and what doesn't to implement microtransactions into their future games. I gave you my 2 cents, now give me yours in the comment section down below. Be sure to drop a like and help me reach that like goal of 30 likes. Be sure to subscribe for more Shadow of War videos like this weekly. Don't forget to also turn on channel notifications to be notified when my next video goes live. See you in my next video. Peace.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me.